In this video I searched for some entertainment, but I'm just going to quickly flick through. I turn the tables, let's have the moment of truth, and show you my wheels. I've got my bike here. It's Da Vinci time. After what feels like years of being asked to review Jackery products, I'm really pleased to say the wait is over. Jackery launched their Amazon stores in UK and Europe today, which is the 17th of March 2021, and in this video we take the first look at the UK version of the Explorer 240. Just for clarity, this video has not been sponsored by Jackery, but they did send out the unit prior to launch so that we could release the video today, so our thanks to them for that. So to celebrate their launch, Jackery are offering a really good discount, which is detailed in the description below. But before you click off the video, I suggest you watch it through because there might be something in there of interest. And if you do find anything of use in there, please hit the like button. It really does help us out. So anyway, enough chat, let's go. So when you open up the box and empty the contents, this is what you're left with. So I'm just going to start with this card here. I'm going to put it on screen so it's a little bit easier to read. So this details the Jackery warranty. So it's a nice little process flow there just to follow if you've got any issues. But I must say this comes with a 24-month warranty, which is fantastic, meaning they have faith in their products. And it's also reassuring if you're going to buy one of the Jackery products as well. But the other thing as well is there's lifetime technical support and the details of how to contact Jackery on there. There's also another little card here as well, which gives social media and again contact details there. So it does come with a really nice and easy to read manual. So you've got details of the specifications of the unit, you've got how to use it, charging, recharging, there's a few disclaimers and safety notices in there, details of the warranty, FAQs, and again how to contact them as well. And you also get this nice little pouch here for your cables, and it actually comes pre-populated with a couple of cables for your unit. So you've got your 12-volt cigarette lighter connector there to your DC output to charge while you're on the move. And you've also got the mains charger as well. Again, it's a UK mains plug there to DC output. So that's what you get in the box. Time to have a look around the unit now. So let's start off here with the input. So this is the only port you can use to charge this unit. So you can charge from mains, from your vehicle, or from solar. So if you want to do a battery check, just tap the display button here. That wakes up, gives you the information, then goes to sleep after about 15 seconds to save energy. So we have two standard USB ports here, good for 5 volts and 2.4 amps a piece. And you switch on and switch off by the little button next to it. Up here we have a 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter output, and this is regulated. I'm going to cover that more later on in the video. So you can again switch that on and off by the button next to it. Has a handy dust cover there to keep bits and pieces out of there while you're on the move. So here we have an AC output here, so that's good for 230 volts and that's 200 watts continuous, and this is a pure sine wave inverter, so that's the one you need for your sensitive electronics. So let's have a look around here. So we've got a little vent here for ventilation, as you would imagine. So let's look on the back. There's nothing much to speak about on there. And here we've got another vent here. So I think there's a fan one end or other to blow air through this to keep it cool. So let's have a look on the bottom. And we've got these little sort of silicone rubber feet. And one thing they're really good for is to stop this thing moving about, so it just doesn't move. So that's the quick tour done. So we're plugged into the mains now and ready to go. So the charger itself provides 19 volts at 3.42 amps to give a rather precise 64.98 watts output at the 8mm DC output here. So let's plug that in and see what we get. Takes a few seconds to wake up. And that's charging at 62 watts. So I'm just displaying on screen now what's come out of the manual to give you an idea of how long this takes to charge from empty. So when it comes to charging your Jackery using 12 volts, like in your vehicle, for example, while you're on the move, you're already covered out of the box. So you get this rather meaty cable here, which has got a cigarette lighter adapter one end and a DC 8mm output at the other, which you just plug straight in. So I'm going to bring over a battery now and we're going to hook this up and just show you what we get. Right, the battery is ready now, so let's knock off 0.1 on there for accuracy. So we're getting about 13.3 volts at this socket. So let's plug in the Jackery now. Let's see what we get when this wakes up. And we're getting 42 watts. So I'm just putting up a couple of pics on screen now. So the first one is just showing what volts I get at my cigarette lighter output when the engine is running. I always recommend you have your engine running when you're charging one of these devices. And now there's another pic being shown, just showing what it's charging from using that same output on the Jackery itself. And one more pic for you, and this is just basically what Jackery's say in their manual for the time to charge using a 12 volt output. So what happens if you lose or damage this cable and you can't charge from your vehicle anymore? Well, what you can do is you can use a standard cigarette lighter cable and then just put an adapter on the end. So this is a standard cigarette lighter connector here to a DC 5521 output here. So what you do need to do is you need to get hold of something like this so that you've got these adapters to use, and you get these for plugging into laptops, etc. And the one that you're looking for this is an 8mm, which is normally marked up as a K. So I don't know if you can see that on there. It's got K marked on there, and that's got an 8mm output. So what you do is you can just literally take this out, because this DC 5521 fits into here. So I'll just show you how that works. So you plug that in there. So that now changes that into something that you can plug into the Jackery. So if we plug that in there like so, and then just plug this into the battery we used earlier, let's just see what it does. And there you have it. It's charging at 41 watts. So that's a way of getting around if you lose or damage the existing cable. If, like me, you plan on charging your Jackery using solar power, then you need to get the right cable to match the panel you may already have or plan on buying. So this cable here has MC4 connectors one in to go to your panel and a DC 8mm output to plug straight in the Jackery. So I'm just going to move over to a video I made in my garden connecting to a standard 100 watt panel. So I hooked up to a standard 100 watt panel now, so let's see what early March in the UK gives us. And look at that, 64 watts. Fantastic. So another popular option when it comes to solar charging is using a folding panel such as this. And in this case I need to turn a DC 5525 output here into a DC 8mm input here so I can charge the Jackery. And all you need is a standard DC cable such as this, and this is DC 5521 one end and DC 5521 the other end. An adapter pack like this, which I showed you earlier in this video. So what we do is we take the one that's marked C on this one, so that connects into one end of the cable and then straight into the panel, like so. And then the other end we just need to use the K, which we already used previously, and then you just connect that in again the same. And then that hooks in like that, plug that into the Jackery, and then that's just start charging. So I'm just going to go over to a video I made in my garden showing this in action. So hooked up to a 60 watt folding panel now, so let's see what we get. And look at that, 36 watts. When it comes to powering your 12 volt devices via this port here, I'm really pleased to say it has a regulated output, meaning the voltage stays around the same point no matter how much battery charge you have, which isn't always the case on devices like this. So I'm just going to plug this in to show you what the current voltage is at this port. So let's switch that on. So if we knock off 0.1 for accuracy, it's about 13.4 volts at the port itself, and that's 68% state of charge. So I'm just going to show you a pic at the moment which shows at 0% state of charge and what the output is. So as you'll see, they match. So this is a regulated output giving the same voltage right down to flat. So that's great news for devices that require 12 volts or more to keep running, in the fact that this doesn't drop below 12 volts, meaning you can use all of the battery power available. This is of particular interest to me in the fact that I have a cool box that if it drops under 12 volts, it does actually switch off. So that won't be the case when I use it with the Jackery. So this is my beaten up old cool box I've just mentioned. So I thought I'd just hook it up to show you that it works okay on the Jackery. So it's currently pulling about 60 watts. And again, because this port here doesn't drop below 12 volts, this isn't going to cut out, which is great news because it means I can use all of the battery power available. And also you can use pass-through charging on this, meaning you can charge it from your vehicle or from solar as well, so you can keep the battery topped up so it doesn't run down as quickly, meaning you can keep things cool or hotter for longer. As regular viewers of the channel will know, I love USB-C PD as in power delivery. It just gives you the option to charge your compatible devices much faster than over standard USB. But on this particular model of the Jackery, we only have standard USB ports right here. But I've got a quick and easy way to sort that. So there you have it, a 12 volt USB-C PD charger, which is good for up to 60 watts. But using power delivery on the Jackery doesn't stop there. So when I buy devices to make my life a little bit easier, I like to try and find more than one use for them. So in this case, this is great because it adds USB-C PD to the Jackery, which is something I really wanted. But I wanted to try and find another way to use this to enhance life with the Jackery. And I found this cable. So it looks fairly run-of-the-mill, but what this does is takes USB-C and turns it into a DC output. So this takes advantage of USB-C PD and can actually charge devices using this. So I'm just going to show you how that works. So this cable comes as part of a set which has adapters for charging compatible laptops. But the good thing for us is the fact it has a K adapter here, which is the 8mm you need to charge a Jackery. So what I'm going to do now is just plug this into the end of this cable. So this is the DC 5521 output here. So let's plug that into the input there. And here's our 12 volt PD charger here, which we were using here earlier. So I'm just going to plug that in there now and we'll see what we get. And that's woken up, and look at that, 64 watts. So that's from a 12 volt output. So I'm just going to put a picture on screen now, just showing what it was like charging from my vehicle while it was switched on. And as you'll see, that's a much faster way of charging than using the standard cigarette lighter cable that comes with this. So another advantage of this cable comes when you want to charge from the mains. So if you want to travel a bit lighter and not lug around this power brick with you, you can put that to one side and get yourselves a mains powered PD charger. And this one's good for up to 60 watts. So let's plug that in now and see what we get. And look at that, 63 watts. So again, gives the equivalent of the mains charger, but not the bulk. So yet another advantage about adding a PD charger like this to the Jackery is that you can actually make the most of solar power while you're out and about, say you're off grid or camping somewhere, and actually charge things whilst charging the device itself. So I've got a PD power bank here, so it's good for up to 60 watts PD output on this. So if we plug this in now and just see what we get from a charging perspective. So as that started, so it looks like we're at 28 watts output so far. And now it's gone up to 33, so looks like it stopped. So that's charging this power bank at 33 watts. So if you have your panel with you, and like I say, you're camping, you can actually plug your panel in. So I'm just simulating that for the moment and take advantage of pass-through charging. So you can actually charge this up while charging the additional power bank. So at the moment, obviously it's showing 63 watts coming in and about 30 odd going out. So you're actually charging this PD power bank up, but it doesn't stop there. So you're off grid, perhaps getting ready to bed down for the night in your tent. You've taken advantage of the solar power throughout the day to fully charge your PD power bank. Your Jackery's a bit low and you just want to top it up to get you through the night so you can run your AC and your 12 volt outputs. So let's plug it in and see what it does. So the moment of truth. Let that wake up and look at that, 63 watts. So this is charging the Jackery from this power bank at 63 watts. So it is possible to travel light and extend your battery charge overnight. Brilliant. So I wanted to give you an example of pass-through charging on the Jackery, meaning that you can run devices from the output ports, but also charge it at the same time from another source. So in this case, I've currently got my cool box running in, whirring away in the background, and that's drawing about 60 watts on screen at the moment. So I'm just going to plug this in as if you were in a vehicle, just using a standard cigarette lighter output. So let's plug that one in and see what we get. So it might take a while to balance down. So it looks like it's putting in 41 watts, so as if we were out in a vehicle out and about. And it's drawing just under 60 now, so it's about 18 or 19 watts in deficit, meaning it's only draining the battery at that much. So it's only draining about 18 watts instead of the full 60 or 59 as it's showing at the moment. So that slows down the battery discharge, meaning that your battery is going to last for a lot longer. So again, if you're traveling about, that saves you battery power, meaning that you can keep things cooler for longer. So I'm just going to swap this over for another one now. So I've got the USB-C PD charger in there now, the 60 watt one, and also the cable with the connector on the end. So let's plug that in and see what we get, as if we were charging from a vehicle. And again, solar power would give you a similar result. So it's showing 64 watts in and 61 watts out. So that's about 3 watts that's coming into the battery. So it's very slowly charging the battery as well as running the cool box at the same time. So that's probably your best bet if you're going out and about using the USB-C PD route. So one minor point I just wanted to bring up in regards to the AC outlet here is the fact that because some UK plugs have a moulded cable protector like this one here, that actually can cause a lot of pressure on the cable at the bottom, and in some cases I've used it can actually tip the whole unit back a little bit. So that's quite easy to rectify, and that's just a result of adapting this particular socket here from other countries where you just push the plug in. So I'm just going to show you using my laptop how you don't need much clearance. You can put it on the edge of something and it literally means that cable's fine on that. Or the other option available as well is just to have an extension cable or an adapter plugged in where that is no longer a problem anyway, because it doesn't have as long a cable protector at the bottom. But there you have it. That's quite an easy one to fix, and just a minor point I thought I should share. Right, time for a quick inverter test now. So I'm just going to show you it can reach its 200 watts continuous output rating. If it does go above that for too long, it does switch itself off, so you don't need to worry too much about it. So at the moment, I've currently got my heated floor mat plugged in and my laptop, and I'm going to just start a render of a video on my laptop, which should push it up to close to 200 or just over 200 watts, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get that render started. And let's get that render started. Okay, that's started now. And as you can hear, the fans come on the Jackery. So let's see what that settles down to once it's kicked into action. So as you can see at the moment, it's gone just above 200 watts. And again, you can see it's gone over that figure, so don't worry too much about that, because again, if it goes above that too long, it will shut itself off. So you haven't got to worry about that. So I'll leave that running for a few seconds. So the render's just finished and it's worked perfectly. So I like nothing more than watching a good movie at the end of a long day to unwind. So I wondered if it's possible to do that off grid. So I'm just going to go through a sample setup here with the Jackery just to show you a serving suggestion as such of how you might be able to set up and watch a movie while you're out and about in your garden, in your tent, in your camper, or even in your caravan, anything where you could use this off grid. So let's start off at the bottom. So I've got just a lightweight and budget projector there. That plugs straight into the AC on the Jackery, as you can see. So I've got a streaming stick here as well, and that requires USB power. So that's actually being powered directly from the USB port here on the Jackery. So I've also got a bike speaker here, which is Bluetooth connected to the streaming stick. And again, this can be charged up from the Jackery as well. And also I have my mobile phone here, which I use as a mobile hotspot for the streaming stick. And again, depending on your setup, you could actually connect your phone straight to the projector, and depending on the projector you have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fire all this up and just see how it works. As you can see, it works perfectly. And it's drawing about 72-73 watts at the moment, which is powering both the projector and the streaming stick. So in this particular setup with a fully charged Jackery, you're likely to be able to get a full length feature film and still have charge left in the battery. So I'm just going to switch the lights off now. I can't actually play any of the movies due to copyright, but I'm just going to quickly flick through just to show you it works okay. So look at that, it works perfectly. So this means you can have off-grid movies wherever you like. So portability is where the Jackery really shines in terms of its size and its weight. It weighs just over 3 kilos, and as you can see it fits easily in this backpack. Also have the folding panel in there as well. I'm just going to show you how I got on when I was out and about. So I've come out for some exercise today and loaded up my backpack with the Explorer 240. Got my bike here. So I'm going to hook it up now and see how we get on. Okay, so we've got a 60 watt folding panel ready to go. We've got the Jackery here. So I'm just going to plug it in now and see what we get in this afternoon sun in the UK. So plugged in now, and let's see what we get on the Jackery. So there we have it, 24 watts. So let's plug some things in and get charging. Okay, so I've got my bike lights plugged in now and charging. And it looks like they're taking about 3 watts at the moment. So let's put some more stuff on. I've got everything that's currently with me charging now, except the camera that I'm using. And we've got my phone on there. We've got both of my bike lights, and also I'm charging my spare camera battery there. And as you can see, even with this 60 watt panel, which is giving us about 25 watts. It's only drawing 12 watts at the moment, so it's still charging a battery. So if we're going out and about, this thing is awesome. So first up, it has to be the 12 volt regulated output. There's no messing about, just consistent voltage for the whole charge, which is great for your 12 volt devices. Next up, it has to be the 200 watt continuous pure sine wave inverter. You're pretty much covered for any situation, including using your sensitive electronics. And finally, the 24-month warranty and lifetime tech support. What's not to like? So first up, and I know I'm a fan of it, but USB-C power delivery would be a great addition to this 240 watt hour version. Next up, a solar charging cable of some kind would be really nice to have out of the box. And finally, a built-in LED light, which would be one less thing to carry while you're camping and one thing less to look for during a power outage. We hoped you liked our video. All the links you'll need will be in the description below. Please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And stay tuned to Dad Vinci.